guys, I'm Sarah Louise and welcome back to my channel. So I'm doing one more video. Well, I don't know, who knows? I don't want to make any promises, but I think I'm going to make one more video, which is this one on voting. So I just wanted to kind of sum up the videos that I've put and a few of the comments that have been on the videos, and a few more realizations that I've come to. So, first of all, I would like to say that it does seem hypocritical to say that it's okay to call a general election just because you don't like the person in charge. I totally get that. And in normal circumstances, I would agree with that. The reason I think this election is different is because I do think, as I've said in other videos, that this election was already a protest where people didn't vote. They were like, I don't want to vote. I'm protesting. I don't want any of them. I'm not going to vote. And some people will say, well, then that's your problem because you got what you got. But I think people were already trying to protest and say, we don't want any of them. So we can't vote because we dislike them all equally. There's literally nobody that we want to vote for. And considering it was the lowest vote in, I think, democratic history in this country, and I think 20% of people actually voted for Labour, and now a third of them have changed their mind. That is very, very low. I'm not very good at maths, but what is that like at this point in time? About what, like 13% of people in this country want the leader that we have. That's quite, it's not like America where it's like 50-50 almost, and it just tips one way a bit and it tips the other way. We literally have about 13% of people in this country at this point of time that actually want the leader that we have. To me, that actually should call for some, I don't even know about a general election, because if people felt they had no one to vote for then, who are they going to vote for now? I think what it really calls for is some kind of reform in politics, full stop. Really, if we lived in a democracy, rather than having Labour in, which some people think is democratic, I think that we should be having big, massive changes because nobody is happy. If you've only got 13% of your country that's happy with who's in charge, that's quite shocking, no? That means everybody's mostly unhappy. So something should change, and it might not just be a leader or a general election. Something maybe deeper has to change, and people are trying to protest this in a democratic way, through voting and through petitions. So I think it should be listened to. So that's where I think things are a little bit different to other elections. But I did see a petition when I went on petitions the other day, and I thought, oh my God, this is the one. or this is a good petition, actually, that kind of is probably better than all the ones I was talking about before. And the petition was that if a party goes back on its manifesto and it lied on its manifesto, it should automatically trigger a general election. I agree with that, actually. It doesn't matter which party it is it's in. If you set something out in your manifesto and then you completely go against it and you essentially just do the opposite, then that is unfair. It's like if I go to the shop and I buy a kettle and I come home and I open the box and it's an iron, I'm going to take it back, aren't I? Because I'm not going to be happy that I bought a kettle and I've got an iron. And a shop has a return policy for that reason. And I think we should be able to do a return policy. Otherwise, I mean, where is the end of that? Can somebody literally just write an entire manifesto and then just get in and do the exact opposite? I mean, that's not democracy. So I actually really agreed with this petition. I think there should be something in the law that if a party, they should categorically have to state their manifesto, and if they U-turn on things and completely do the opposite, then yeah, people should have a chance to vote again. I don't care what party you're on, that should be the case. So I think that petition is actually the best petition out there. It didn't get many signatures because I guess it didn't get put in the press and in the news and no one really knows about it, but that is, in my opinion, the petition. In America, they're kind of split most of the time over who they want. I think they had really good voting turnout at the last election. We are already protesting. There's a lot of people there that don't want any of these people. They want smaller parties to get in. And the numbers are going towards smaller parties. And maybe even they're not good enough, but if people are so I don't know if I necessarily agree with this, or everyone should be forced to vote. If there is like nobody that you want to vote for, and there's nobody that you think is in any way good enough to lead this country, then a no vote is a vote. I actually agree with those people that say not voting is a vote. Like, it is a vote. When you have a certain amount that vote every year, and then that suddenly slashes in number, that's because those people are making a point. And the point isn't being listened to. And people are trying to be very democratic about it by doing, because we live in the UK and we're all generally quite like, you know, democratic people. So we're doing petitions and not voting and things like that. But really what people are saying is, we are unhappy. We don't like any of these people. We need some reform and some change in the way that our country is ran, and no one is offering it to us. So that's why I think this election is a little bit different, and I don't think it's hypocritical. Normally I'm a big person on that, you know, I'm a big person on democracy, even if I'm going to whinge and moan about it. I do believe, you know, you can't just complain when you didn't get who you wanted. And, you know, people that didn't vote for them anyway, I can understand that they're irrelevant and unimportant. But there is polls that suggest that, and that this was a while ago, it might be even worse now, that a third of the people that even voted for Labour, which was already very, very, very low, have changed their mind. Now, that's very, very significant. That's a significant number. We're heading towards half of the people that voted from an already record low have changed their mind. And that should be taken seriously. I don't know how you can reform this. I'm not in politics, but all I'm going to say is, to me, as someone that's not into politics, looking at everything that's happened over the last 6 months or 6-7 months, what I would say is it shows that the people are not happy. The people are not happy with any politics that we have going on at the moment, and they don't really want anybody, and they want some massive changes and reform, and there's nobody that's standing up and offering what they want or they can trust in. People do not trust in any of the leaders right now. So there needs to be a massive shift, a massive reform, in my opinion. So anyway, that's why I don't think this particular one is hypocritical, even though obviously it would be easy to say that I never wanted Keir Starmer in anyway, because, I mean, I'm actually not really attached to specific parties. The reason I didn't want Keir Starmer in, I take people individually, honestly, as leaders, and I just thought he was such a wet lettuce, and I could already tell before we went to the election that he was just saying as little as possible to get through, and that he was U-turning on everything. I didn't trust him. I'm quite a good people reader. And everything he's doing now was no surprise to me. Like, I already called it before the election because it was obvious. It feels like other people are kind of seeing it now or after. But to me, everything happening now is sort of U-turns, not sticking to things that he said, being a bit of a wet lettuce. These were just things that were so obvious to me on the campaign. And I think what happened was people were so blinded by the hatred of another party that they just let all this stuff slip. And I'm not supporting anybody really. Like, you know, I'm not saying that what the Conservatives did was good either. They didn't deserve to get in. And this is why we're here. They didn't deserve to get in. But no one really wanted Keir Starmer in, and now they feel they've been lied to. So just people generally just don't want anyone in. They want politicians to change. They want to be able to trust the people that they vote in, and they can't trust anybody, and that's why nobody voted because people feel they can't trust anybody to do what's in their best interest or to actually do what they said they were going to do. Here lies our problem. The problem is very overall. It's not with one party or another party. We have a big problem in this country right now with people having any faith in politicians. So somebody at some point needs to step in that people can really, really get behind, and they trust and they feel actually represents the desires of the British people. And the voting system needs to make it easy for them to get in. I think that's really what we're all calling for in this country right now. I don't think we're calling for like, let's scrap Labour and put the Conservatives back in. I don't really think that's what anybody wants. Hence why nobody voted, because they didn't know what to do. Anyway, that was just my additional 2 cents on this topic. And let me know what you think in the comments. All right, bye-bye.